Just a minute. I think probably should go this time. Yeah, thank you. I think we are live on YouTube, so people can join. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome all of you to this session of Bhagavad Gita. So let us start today's session by paying our salutations and our gratitude in the lotus fetus of Lord Shri Krishna. Bhaje Vrajek Mandanam Sast Pap Khandanam Swabhakt Chit Ranjanam Sadev Nandanandanam. Supich Guch Mastakam Sunad Venu Hastakam Anang Rang Sagaram Namami Krishna Nagaram Namami Krishna Nagaram. Welcome all of you, divine souls. We are all, in essence, the same consciousness. And I pray to Lord Krishna, who is the Jagat Guru, the Guru of all Gurus, that this entire creation be blessed, to bless all of us with divine wisdom. So today we will be continuing our journey through Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, shloka number 12 and 13. Do you know the first lesson on our spiritual path, our spiritual journey is about the knowledge of self? That is the first question. As Maharishi Patanjali says in Yoga Sutras, avidya, asmita, raga, dvesh, abhinivesha, klesha. Out of the 5 kleshas, described by Maharishi Patanjali, the first klesha or the cause of all human pain and suffering is avidya. Avidya means ignorance about the nature of our true self. So this truth is so important that in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita itself, the first thing that Lord Shri Krishna does is to reveal the nature of the true self. And Lord Shri Krishna makes a very clear distinction between the physical body and the soul or our Atma. He says that just like how gods are eternal, so are you. And all the kings and everyone else, they are eternal. All of them existed before in their own individuality, and they will continue to exist in the future also. He's talking about the soul. It is because a soul cannot be destroyed. The soul is forever immortal, eternal. So today we shall be going very deep into this most important aspect of our spiritual knowledge. Our journey begins from here. So stay with us till the end. And let me tell you, if you are able to follow this entire series of Bhagavad Gita, I can guarantee you that you would get the key to design an extraordinary life for yourself. That is for sure. Lord Shri Krishna tells Arjun in the 12th shloka of chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, he says, Na tvevaham jatu nasam, na tvam neme janadipa, na chev na bhavishyamah, sarve vayamataha param. Lord Shri Krishna, tells Arjun that there has never been a time in the past when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, because he is in a battlefield. Arjun is in the battlefield and he is surrounded by the armies and the kings and everyone, and he is in a dejection mode because he says, I cannot kill my own kith and kin and these kings. So Lord Shri Krishna is telling Arjun, there has never been a time in the past when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings. There has never been a time when all these people have not existed in the past, nor will there be a time in the future, na bhavishyamaha, when we shall cease to exist, when we will not be there. There will never be a time, even in bhavishyama. So, in the Vedic tradition, wherever divine knowledge is imparted, it usually begins with the knowledge of the self. Bhagwan Shri Krishna, begins by explaining that what we call as self, me, what we say as I, is actually the soul, not this material body. The soul is eternal, just as God Himself is eternal. Now, if we believe that the soul is eternal, then it follows that logically, when the soul is eternal, then even after death of this material body, there will be a life in the form of a soul. The life will exist. Lord Shri Krishna talks about this in the next verse number 13. See, what Lord Shri Krishna is trying to educate Arjun is that Arjun should not grieve for, because Arjun is having this feeling that what happens if I'm asked to kill my own, kith and kin, my relatives, my Guru Dronacharya, my beloved Bhishma Pitama. So he is grieving, in fact, at the prospect of killing them. So Arjun, Lord Shri Krishna is saying, Arjun, you should not grieve for someone like Bhishma Pitama or Dronacharya, Guru Dronacharya, who have always lived a life of righteousness. They have followed dharma. So when they have followed dharma, they are already eternal in their own sense, in their own real nature. And they are destined to attain the moksha or kaivalya because they have followed dharma all through their lives. So now Lord Shri Krishna is making a very clear distinction between the physical body and the soul or the Atma. The soul cannot be destroyed, he says. The soul is forever immortal. So Lord Shri Krishna continues in the next verse number 13. Na dehinosmin anyatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantar praptir dhiras tatra na muhyatihi. He says, just like an embedded soul. Now, there is a small distinction between Atma, the soul, and he has used a word, Lord Shri Krishna has used, Dehino, Dehi, So, Dehi is an embodied soul, a soul along with you can say it's a Sukshma Sharir, and the Karan Sharir, along with that Atma, which remains after we lose this body. Then our soul is embodied in that Sukshma Sharir. So he is He said, just like an embodied soul, Dehi, it continuously passes through the childhood when up, you take this body, you pass through various stages, like you pass through childhood, then the stage of youthfulness, and then the old age. Similarly, the soul, this passes from one body into another body. And a wise man is not bewildered by such a change. That is the saying. With so much perfect logic, Lord Shri Krishna, he is establishing the principle of transmigration of soul, from one lifetime to another lifetime. See, he is telling when soul is eternal, that means body is not eternal. That means the soul will transmigrating from one lifetime to another lifetime. He explains that, in one lifetime itself, we change from childhood, then to youth, maturity, and then to the old age. We all know, and modern science has proven this, that the old cells within the body, they continuously die away. We all know. We always, old cells are dying in our body and new cells are replacing them. And within a couple of weeks, all our old cells are replaced by the new cells. This is a continuous process in our body. Science has proven that. It is said that in maybe 7 years or so, all the cells of the body change. You are a new you. The old body has gone away. It has, all those cells have died. You have a new body every 7 years. It is said. So this word dehe means the body, and dehi means the possessor of this body. One who is possessing this body, that is our soul. Bhagavan Shri Krishna tells Arjun that since this body is constantly changing, within one lifetime itself, you can see from childhood to youth to old age, and even these cells are continuously changing. See, actually, what we term death, what we call death, is just merely the soul discarding the old body, and what we call birth is a soul taking up a new body. That's it. He says it's so simple. This is the principle of reincarnation. Lord Shri Krishna is talking about the principle of reincarnation. According to Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the one who knows this truth is a Pandit. He is knowledgeable. He is a wise man. And that is why he would never grieve at the death of a person. Because since the only thing that is dying is our physical body, and we are still alive in the form of our soul. So, Bhagavan Shri Krishna had previously, declared that the wise men do not lament. The Pandits, they do not lament. They do not grieve. But the fact remains that, we still do experience, sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are in distress. So what is the reason for it? What is the reason? He now explains this concept. Yeah, we will discuss and take the questions in the end of the session, please. Thank you, Premlata ji. So realize that we are neither the body nor this mind, but we are the eternal soul. That is true knowledge. Our soul keeps moving from one body to another. Just like, how when you change clothes, what happens? You are changing the clothes, but the changer of the clothes, you do not change. The true you remains the same, though it keeps moving from, you are within one set of clothes, then you are in the second set of clothes, but you are the same. Same way, you are taking one body, then you another body, but you are the same. You have existed before and you will continue to exist in future also. Soul is what? Soul is energy. According to science, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only change form from one form to another form. Similarly, soul, transform from one form to another, but it remains as it is. It is in its true form. It is unchanged, unmoved, unaffected, by anything that happens around it. So the message of Lord Shri Krishna is very clear. Perceiving this distinction between our physical bodies and the soul, that is the true knowledge. So according to Upanishads, uh, knowledge itself is life. Knowledge is our being. Knowledge is our existence. Knowledge is what we truly are. So if we become the knowledge itself, Gyan, I'm not talking of the intellectual concept as it is, but as a substance that we are made up of. Then we become then free of all the bondage of the karmas and actions, and then we start moving towards moksha. When this darkness of avidya is ignorance, is the darkness. When this avidya, the darkness or the ignorance is removed by the bright light of knowledge, of truth, then it liberates us and it frees us from the emotional turmoils and the pains and sufferings of this life. All your pains and sufferings in this life are because of this misconception or because of this ignorance that I am my body. This is the ego consciousness. So I am your brother guide to prosperity, and my mission is to help you all realize the dreams of your life and achieve something worthwhile in your life for which your parents, your children can be so proud of. So we take leave, Lord Shri Krishna. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So I am open for any questions anybody has. Somebody had raised the hands, and so anybody wants to ask anything. So thank you, all of you. It was a wonderful session. Thank you all for being a part of this great journey of knowledge. Thank you.